And welcome to the Film Debris podcast, where we talk about movies and junks. It is Robert Temple, and with me I got Deanthony Graves.
What's up, what's up?
And today we're going to be talking about a little Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, and the dawn that accompanied it.
The dawn with which the apes
arose.
Yeah, they rose the first time, right?
Yeah.
And now they're dawning.
And now the dawn has come.
Maybe next time they'll be mooning.
The reckoning.
I think, chronologically, I think next is Planet of the Apes, right?
It would be Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, because unless it's like they're going to drag it out a little bit more in the...
And make another one, which is the afternoon.
The exceeding reach of the Planet of the Apes, or...
A series of unfortunate ape
events. Lemony Snicket's Apes events. But first we're going to get into a little bit of some of the trailers they showed in the beginning.
Trailers. Usually
for the newer releases, that's when they release the newer trailers. We're still seeing trailers for that Get On Up.
Get On Up. It's a jazzy little trailer. It's got a lot of soul in it. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I could say about that.
Have you seen, I missed 42. Have you seen Chadwick Boseman in anything?
No.
I can't think of anything that I've seen where he is playing like a lead role or anything.
Anything, really.
But I heard it's good.
I mean, I'll have to take your word for it. We can ask Jesse.
Yeah, I know he liked 42.
He did. He reviewed it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw the review, though.
The one thing I don't really like about at least the trailers, and it looks like it's going to be part of the movie, is kind of the revisionist, how everyone talks about how great he is in the present, with like a future knowledge of how great he will be. Everything they know that they're saying is going to be in existence. So it's just like... He's the future. He's so brilliant.
The next big thing.
Which might be true, and that's fine, but it just seems like a lot of... Someday you'll see, I'll be the greatest ever.
For some reason, when I see this trailer, I kind of get that Ray feeling. You remember how it looked when they did Ray, which was actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I like Ray a lot.
He did a good job on that. I just feel like we're gonna get maybe the same dramatization,
right,
if you will. I feel like we're gonna get the same type of movie, but not Ray Charles. Ray Charles this time is going to be James Brown.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like I'm excited about it. Question mark.
I could tell by the pitch in your voice.
I'm excited about it. I don't know. I've seen the trailer about 3 or 4 times, and
yeah,
I guess it looks like it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, I think I'm actually kind of like, I'd like to see it. I mean, you have Octavia Spencer and Viola Davis together again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, whenever they say, let's get a serious black actress. Oh, well, Viola Davis.
I just feel like the whole time I'm watching that movie, I'll be thinking of Ray. Right? I feel like it's going to be a constant comparison in my mind, and that troubles me a little bit, because I don't think the movie will stand on its own in my mind. I'm always going to be comparing it to Ray.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks, because this might be a really good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess we'll see. And so one of the newer trailers that came out was The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
Part 1, yeah. The Mockingjay lives. It's
more of a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it's really vague, but we know. I mean, if you saw the Hunger Games, the second one, with the fire, Catching Fire, then you kind of would understand this teaser trailer. So I would assume most people have seen that movie, especially to have seen with how popular the movie was. A lot of people checked it out. So. It's a vague trailer, but you get what they're saying in it.
Yeah, there's some kind of the government is doing their messages, but someone is messing up with their signal or something, right?
Yeah, like it's more like a hacked feed, kind of like Eyes Only from Dark Angel. You remember that show?
I don't know if anyone...
Come on, we all remember Dark Angel. Everyone, Eyes Only. That was, I wanted to adapt that name into my life for so long, but it was just, I couldn't do it. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, I don't care about Hunger Games that much, really.
No.
No.
Not a fan of the brew?
No. What
Come
brew?
on. Yeah, the whistle. I'm not gonna do it for you.
Oh, you mean the Romeo and Juliet theme music?
I guess.
That the Hunger Games blatantly just uses. And anyway, another trailer. There's Unbroken. There's Angelina Jolie's movie Unbroken about some. It looks like a dramatic, heart-wrenching movie of some guy who keeps fighting back from defeat and hard times.
I mean, we're really in this trailer. We're watching this guy go through every stage of an American male's life. I mean, he started off weak and getting bullied, and then somehow he pushes through that, and then he achieves some sort of greatness in high school, and then he goes to war. And
are you talking about Captain America?
I would think so. You feel like this is just America's hero, and it seems so over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like, okay, I'm going to make a movie that I want someone like Steven Spielberg to be proud of. So I'm going to check off all the boxes of the things, you know.
And directed by Angelina Jolie. So, I mean, she's been in front of the camera a lot. Yeah. I know she's spent a lot of time in the field. So, I don't know, maybe she'll be really good. I don't know if she's directed anything before.
Yeah, or I think last year or maybe the year before, I think she did one. I want to say it's Blood and Honey, something like that. I know a lot of people probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Because
our fans are awesome. They know these things. We just talk about them, but you guys know them.
Yeah, and then we just like talk off the top of our heads, and then you can sit there in front of Google and look it up right now.
None of this is scripted. We're just conversation.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, you got Fury. Trailer for Fury, the Brad Pitt, so Angelina Jolie's there, and you got Brad Pitt. They're making money
together
and apart. Yeah.
That movie, is it supposed to be a continuation from Inglourious Basterds? Because
who's gonna get his Nazi scalps?
Yeah, he's got the same scenario. He's got the same weird accent or that macho pacho type way of talking. That he seems really, really tough, but really ignorant at the same time. So it's like, damn.
It's exactly like damn.
It's exactly like damn. But I can't say of all these trailers that I saw that I was pretty excited about was Exodus and Kings, Gods and Kings. I thought the way they did that, it caught my eye. I was like, oh yeah. The whole time I was looking at you like, what do you think of this trailer?
So what about it? Is it the scope? Or I love the story of Moses?
Well, I like the story of Moses, and me having had watched The Prince of Egypt, it was kind of like watching the animated version of the story. It was like it bled through into reality, and I was like, yo, Ramses looks exactly how they drew him in The Prince of Egypt. And I was like, wow, they did really good at, taking notes from history and and adapting it to a feature film.
Yeah.
And it looks like, from what we saw from the trailers, the graphics look decent.
Yeah. Yeah, what I think is, like, earlier we had, like, a live-action adaptation from a story that's used in the Bible, Noah. And, that's, like, apart from some other niche film directors who are just making films for their group, like, Darren Aronofsky is a big name director, award-winning director, and then Russell Crowe is a big thing, and they had Noah. Now I feel like Moses is kind of, not a branch off of that, but it's like big name actor and big name people with making these stories. So the only thing that I really am excited about it so far is Christian Bale.
I think in that role, I mean, just from the trailer, it looked like he was on point. He was really.
He is whiter than everyone else in the movie.
Yeah, that is true. He is very pale, but we still see that Christian Bale face, that almost solid and stuck in time. You know, I felt like I was watching that one movie with him.
American Hustle.
No,
American Psycho.
No, with Taye Diggs.
Taye Diggs and Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like there's no aging going on.
Now, does it bother you at all that Moses doesn't talk like this? Free my people.
I can't, because I was so caught up in what I was seeing. I didn't even pay attention to how he was talking. He didn't sound like he was doing that, but if he does do it, even for a little bit, I think I'll be the first person to just die laughing in
I'm
the
gonna part this sea. And then I can't really do it right now.
Get out of my way, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This movie, I was excited about this movie. I was excited about it because Rise of the Planet of the Apes was really good. In my opinion, I liked it. It was really good.
I felt like it was a bit of a surprise because we're used to reboots and remakes underperforming.
Yeah.
You know, and especially with the Tim Burton remake that came out maybe 10 years before.
Yeah.
Or 10 years ago now, I think, with our good friend Mark Wahlberg. You know, I don't think it was received that well. And here we are, 2014. Kerry Russell, Gary Oldman. And where would we be without Andy Serkis? I feel like the pluses and minuses about this movie, I think Andy Serkis makes this a good force, you know, to reckon with.
Yeah.
As far as performance.
I with the performances, I thought I didn't think it was overly done, but I was more caught up with the role of Caesar. Man, like that all that acting right there, just it captivated me. And no one else mattered in the movie. Yeah. If all I did was watch Caesar just like walk around the forest and take charge of his posse, then I would leave happy from seeing that movie.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, and I don't want to sound speciest, but a lot of the apes look the same.
Yeah.
And that's just the way apes are.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, I don't want to offend any apes out there who are listening in the future. I fully support all of your commands, and I will do whatever it takes when you rule the earth to appease you. But until then, like, they look the same, but I thought it was interesting through visual cues and camera shots how you could always notice Caesar.
Yeah.
I felt like you always knew when he was there, the way he stood, or the way he entered the room or whatever.
The scene or the situation. Caesar's character definitely commanded attention, and I could see why he was respected amongst his crew. You know, like it's impressive at how he ruled, but like a great rule. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't too commanding. He wasn't too strong for his crew. There was all of the apes respected him because of what he did in the first movie and what he brought them to. You know, from the first movie, he took them out of captivity and showed them freedom. And in this movie, he's basically showing them as good as it's going to get. They're back in their natural habitats and they're thriving. They're thriving as a species and as a community. Like, he built a community with them, and they had a way of order. They had order. And that was probably the most impressive.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things, like, not only did he give them freedom, but he also gave them education.
Education.
Because they all now can communicate in some form or other. You know, some speak, like the original one from the movie can speak a little bit, and like the newer ones learn sign language first.
Yeah.
As apes do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's not just a tyrant or whatever.
There we go. He didn't just rule with an iron fist, but he shared the wealth. He shared the wealth of education and information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he whatever he learned, he passed on through the different ranks of the community.
Yeah.
You know, they were writing and they had rules. They had rules and they had order.
You knew how to ride horses?
These apes were doing.
I don't know how to ride a horse.
These apes were more impressive than the Rough Riders. The way they mobbed deep. Okay, these apes were doing it big, without anything.
Also, like, he ruled with, and it's not like godlike, but they respected him, you know. But he ruled with compassion and patience too.
Yeah.
So when they come in to meet humans.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. They find out that each other exists somehow.
Yeah.
So when they meet each other, and one of them dies, someone dies, he doesn't automatically spring into revenge.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't want to start a war, you kind of have to give concessions to letting something slide. You know, I was comparing him in my head. I was comparing him to a mafia boss, where if one of your guys gets killed, purpose or accident, do you want to get everyone involved in something that could end up being a catastrophe for everyone, or do you have to let certain things go to protect your people?
Yeah.
And you know, those are hard decisions to make. And he was Don Caesar. But on the other hand, I was wondering how come, maybe I just don't remember the ending of the first movie, but why was it a total surprise for them that the apes had a community or existed somewhere? Maybe, I think it said it was like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Maybe they just...
I don't think that they expected to see them doing how they were doing, especially since most of the human population was wiped out by sickness. Maybe they hadn't seen each other in so long. They were so separated.
They're dealing with their own.
Yeah, that each community had thought that the other had died off. You know, like the humans probably didn't think that the apes were smart enough to last how they were lasting, or would eventually make it to doing better than them. And the apes sure as hell didn't think that the humans were lasting like that.
It just seemed to me like they would have seen each other at some point, with a lot of the humans using gunfire. I mean, I was also thinking about zombie movies, how when situations like this happen, in movies, situations like this happen in the world all the time, but when humans are broken off into small groups of survivors, you know, oftentimes there's infighting and someone will shoot each other or whatever. It just seems like their presence would have been known to some degree somehow.
Yeah.
And it was kind of assumed that the humans were gone.
Well, probably, like, I don't really remember if it was clarified in the movie how long that human colony was there for. But maybe they had just got there because they couldn't travel that much, or that was their stopping point, and then the forest is so big, you know.
Yeah. Well, Gary Oldman was kind of like their supervisor there, or their leader.
Their chief.
Yeah. And Gary Oldman, he's good. I mean, it's not bad, but you know, his role is he's a guy. Does he have anything you can say?
From what I got from his characters, he was the one trying to keep peace and order and trying to keep people civil, trying to keep them as far as without order, there's chaos. So he was there. He was our safe haven, really. He was keeping the people calm. He was keeping the people on track as far as what we needed and what we were doing. And maybe he was just the lucky one. Maybe he draw that straw, You never know how these people rise to power, but it didn't seem like he did it forcefully.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. Maybe he was already in that position, and
he didn't do it forcefully. But so one of the problems I did have was kind of how fast humans and apes kind of jumped to the idea of war, and I feel like it's used in so many movies now, or maybe it's always been that way. But I feel like in a lot of movies and movie trailers, you can almost get sound clips from so many series that say war is coming.
Yeah.
X-Men war is coming. Twilight war is coming. Yeah. Harry Potter war is coming. I'm sure there's more. But so someone gets killed. The first thing they do, the apes go over and say, "Hey, how you doing? We don't want war." And I was thinking, if I was one of the humans, like, what? Who said anything about war?
Yeah. And at that point, the humans didn't even know. They had just found out. It was only that night. It was that next day that they rolled up. But I mean,
well, they're discussing what they should do, the apes, and they say, well, we have to act now. We have to go to war. If we don't go to war, then they're going to come and attack us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just movies, you got to have conflict, or the American mentality, or what it is that there's no one said, hey, maybe we should go talk to them. Maybe we should cooperate. Maybe we should find a way to work together. It automatically goes to, well, I guess we got to go to war now.
Well, yeah, I can see that, but from my opinion, it didn't go there that fast. If you think about the situation, I mean, spoilers, not trying to give too much away, but something happened with the apes that put them in that, because they weren't even there to see the situation. They only saw the aftermath, and
we can get into spoilers now. So if you're listening, I think for the most part we haven't said anything. Like, most of the stuff we've brought up happens in the first 15, 20 minutes of a 2-hour and 10-minute movie. So if you're listening and you don't want to hear spoilers yet, put us on pause, go watch the movie, come back, refresh the video. Or audio or whatever. Or if this is on audio file now. I don't know what this will be in the future. But we're going to have spoilers now, so if you want to pause and come back. What do you got to say? Who died?
I don't even think the ape died. He just got shot. The ape just got shot in the arm. But it was a big thing, where all the apes came out to see what it was, and they scared the humans away. They basically told them, don't come back. And Copa, being the quick to action ape anyway, he was the one who was blood hungry because he spent his whole captivity being tortured and experimented on. So I get it. I get why his first mentality would be to attack, because he knows the negative end of the human reign.
Right.
And as far as the humans, they were just saying that the apes are where we need to go. So we don't have no choice but to go over there, and we need it. It's either us or them. So I get that mentality too. It's like either us or them. We obviously need it more, and
if we want to survive, we need to get to where they are. The generators.
We just gotta go take that shit, basically. So I can understand to a degree both points of views, and when you're like, well, why didn't they talk about it? That's exactly what Caesar did. He went over and he said, this is our side, that's your side. Stay off of our side. Here's your stuff. We don't want war. But at the same time, we will fight if you come into our neck of the woods again.
Right. So
keep your shit, we'll keep ours, and don't let them mix, basically. And
no jungle fever.
Yeah, I get it. Caesar didn't want to fight, but he wasn't going to seem weak either. He said, this ain't what we want, but if it comes to that, then we ain't no bitches.
We're going to defend ourselves.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, so at the same time, I think Gary Oldman is saying, well, we have to go there, and I feel like he said the same thing, where we have to go to war.
He said, we have to. We have to. They came over and told us.
But I'm saying he never said anything about negotiations. His first thing is go to war. Now, I understand, story-wise, like, well, they could talk about negotiations and use 15 minutes of the movie to pretend to go to negotiations that fails, and then come back and say, okay, let's go to war. So they just skip right to...
let's go to war.
Yeah, let's go to war. I understand that. But it just seems like a little... It seems like the audience knows where it's going or is bloodthirsty for, well, let's just get to it.
Let's just get to it. So maybe they did that for the audience. It was like, well, we know what we as Americans want to see. I mean, we're not ones for talking or doing anything. We're just going to go take that. You see that? That's what we need. Damn it, we're going to take that.
So like you're saying, Koba on the Apes side is the instigator, because he has a history of being punished or whatever, and he knows what can come.
Yeah.
And I was going to say Americans. The humans have a guy too that's like kind of like
Koba,
the racist one. During the movie he was like, we got to get those apes, or we got to make sure those apes whatever. And I was like half expecting him to go, yeah, I hate Mexicans. I mean, or something like that. Or like he's just blatant racist.
Yeah, that train is always on time. It never misses a track, man. If it ain't sooner, it's later. It's always on time. But I mean, he just had that we're desperate attitude. He wasn't gonna let nothing stand in the way, especially under his rule. He wasn't gonna let. They only had, from what he said, 3 weeks tops of supplies. If they didn't get that power, they were gonna go back to the darkness, or back to the no power or anything. They were going to go back to the worst of what they just got out of.
You had to hop back on that bicycle machine with batteries attached, and
he didn't need that. He didn't need that for his people. He didn't want that. Caesar just wanted to be left alone. He just wanted to let the humans know that we got this. Stay out of our way. We don't even want to see you guys.
I mean, it is kind of what kind of happens now, and I don't mean to be human bashing, not like I'm going to go join the apes in the forest, but it's...
You might, I can see it.
It's what people already do, is we need that forest for the wood, or we need this oil or whatever, so we're going to go there.
We're going to go take it.
And take it from the animals, I'm saying, in this situation, not other humans. But, and then, in a way, it was like the way the apes had to evolve to defend themselves, and that's how they, fought back. Any species or whoever it is, it was kind of like nature just happening over again,
just taking course. And what I had the Planet of the Apes, the original. I can't say that I really know the story or exactly how it went. But from what I can tell, the apes won, right? We kind of know where this story is going. So, even at the end of this movie where, Caesar's like, oh, well, the war has already begun, humans ain't going to forget what happened here.
So maybe the next one is actually the war for the planet of the... I don't think the title's going to get longer and longer.
The starting of the Planet of the Apes?
Maybe they'll just have the title be Once Upon a Time on the Planet of the Apes. The situation rose where they had to fight for themselves, and
the sequel.
Trademark. But yeah, in the original movie, let's say, the one with Charlton Heston.
Dr. Seuss is it?
I mean, he's in there. I don't know how, time-wise, I don't know how far apart that time is from this movie, so I don't know if Caesar would be alive still, or how many generations of apes it's been. But I was thinking about it, how, well, if they were going to tie this into that, remaking that movie eventually, which I would like to see them
remake that
movie from what they've built here.
Yeah.
Then at some point they should have had Charlton Heston's character leave or like blast off in a rocket, but now the civilization's like dead. Because if I remember, they were part of a space group, astronauts, I guess you call them, if you want to be fancy. You know, and they go up into space, they go into hypersleep or whatever, and they crash land on a planet, and when they wake up, it's the planet of the apes. Yeah. Spoilers. That is I think one of the great, like, twists in movies. Yeah. That's unfortunate that it's so popular and so known that no one will get to really feel that twist. Yeah. it would be long since gone. But I don't like I said, that movie was so old that I don't even quite remember like the whole, like I know the story of it, you know, but I don't really remember as far as where we're cutting into or where this franchise is going to drop us off in that point, you know? Well, I'm curious on what actress they'll have running around in a loincloth when they make it.
Angelina Jolie. She'll be making her big
She'll
baby.
Be 10 years older by the time they make that movie. Yeah. And she's a director now. Oh, Ben Affleck can do it. Why can't she?
I don't know, man. But just even back to the movie, watching this, I was very pleased with this movie. There aren't anything that I could really say negative about the movie. There were some little character traits that I didn't like from both sides. You know, I didn't like Copa's attitude and how shysty he was, and then I didn't like that jerk human.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't even think they really said his name. Like, he wasn't really a big play.
Like you said, you understood Copa's point of view, though.
Yeah, I understood him, but that doesn't mean that I liked his resolve in doing stuff.
Right. And then his human counterpart, I always felt like it was going to come down to those two guys, like, meeting each other somewhere, and they were going to start the war, quote unquote, yeah, because they're just going to let their own tempers fly. But then I was being annoyed by that character because he's just trying to start things, and he's trying to shoot. He hides a shotgun when they're supposed to hide or get rid of their guns or whatever. Yeah. And I was thinking, this character, even though I hate him, and the audience, sits there going, he's so stupid, like, that character is so essential to so many movies. Yeah. Because there's always, like Lost or Walking Dead in the show, there's always that character you hate, but they're the ones who, like, are the catalysts for
propel the story.
Yeah. And so it's so hard to, because, it's the same guy. If you just take the brain of that character and put him in different movies, the actor did fine in playing his role, and then...
Yeah, he made you hate him. And I just, with Copa, I hated how much he hated the humans, but every action that he had was so human. Mm-hmm. Like, it was so human in the way... He was human in the way he was acting about stuff and how...
Or maybe we were acting very ape.
I would never say that. Copa's character was just very, very human, and he hated himself and everything he was doing. His actions spoke otherwise from what he wanted.
Well, Caesar even, mentions at some point he realized how
alike we were.
Right. And in a way, it's like a cyclical thing. Who knows? Planet of the Apes will happen, and then 100 years into the Planet of the Apes, the insects will rise, and then the same thing will happen to them, and then he won't be alive, but they'll realize, that we're the monsters now. This should be the Planet of the Ants.
The ants. But there's not really anything negative I have. The length of the movie was good. It was enough going on and enough action or enough plotful story that kept me intrigued and involved in the movie that I didn't get bored. Mm-hmm. I wasn't tired. I wasn't really over the movie halfway through. So I enjoyed the movie. Yeah. All around. The characters, other than what I said, their little character flaws, but you need that. There's got to be growth in the movie, so
Yeah. Well, yeah, I felt like maybe they could have cut a little bit of time off of it. It's 2 hours 10 minutes. You know.
Could have lost that 10, huh?
Yeah. I like my movies to be round numbers.
Yeah.
120 minutes is perfect. No, but yeah, like there's some character stuff, and like I was saying about war, and I felt like there's some things that they kind of jump to, and at times Gary Oldman was a tyrant. I think he just started shooting his gun off into, well, I mean the apes are coming, and he says he has these speeches that he gives,
perfectly timed
for everyone. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to complain about. There's certain things it has to go through, and Caesar himself, you know, has his son, who didn't speak that much. And like I said, every time they show Caesar, you know it's Caesar, and once again, Andy Serkis. I think if the apes weren't done as well as they were, and it's for CG, it's pretty impressive. And I was almost thinking, well, why can't we just? A lot of times you go, oh, that CG kind of looks like a bad cartoon. And when I was watching this, I was kind of thinking, oh, why can't we make cartoons as good looking as these apes do, as they look? And if the apes weren't so believable, I think this movie it'll be harder to relate to it and everything.
Yeah. The look of the movie was definitely very well done. You know, at one point I was looking, it was like, man, they trained these apes really well. But I have no complaints for the movie. I liked it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put some more thought into it. There's something that's kind of holding me back with it. I did think it was entertaining. I liked that once again we're done with the introduction phase. You know, with Franco and all that as young, growing up and all that stuff, and now we can just go straight into the apes. And I noticed they started the movie with the same shot that they ended it with, and the close up on Caesar's eyes, which at the beginning I think he has a war paint on his face, and at the end it's his eyes almost looking human.
Yeah.
And maybe that's supposed to be a sign of it's the planet of the apes. But in a way, right now, it's already the planet of the apes. Because we're just a
colony.
Apes. This Film to Read podcast, we'll be right back and close some things out. So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I think is pretty good. You have any final last words, some final thoughts on the movie? You recommend it?
Yeah, I recommend anyone, if you have seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes, this movie, it keeps it close to home as far as where this franchise is going, or where this series is going. So it'll be a safe bet for you to actually check this out. I would probably, if you haven't seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes for a while, I would brush up on it and check it out and see. Just dust off your cobwebs on your thoughts of the movie and get right into it.
Especially because, like I said, a lot of the apes look the same.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself back into remembering
what the characters and why we are at the point we're at is a good idea. But even if you don't, it's a very well put together movie. It's almost standalone. It's not completely. But it's almost standalone, so if you haven't seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes and you've seen this, you won't be too lost. It pretty much clarifies who are key players and what's going on. You kind of get the sense of it, so you won't be lost.
Yeah. I think one of the worst things this franchise has going for it is 7-word titles. Yeah,
just tongue-in-cheek titles, right?
Yeah, it's getting tongue-tied, and the further it goes, the more confusing it's going to get, because it's not going in a certain order. It's not saying Apes 1, Apes 2. It's Rise, and then Dawn, even though the Dawn comes before the Rise. So, yeah, well, like you're saying, maybe it'll be Brunch of the Planet of the Apes. I guess we could keep on going with our joke titles.
Our fancy titles.
But, yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints about it. I thought it was pretty solid. And like I said, Andy Serkis, they should create an award for at least like voiceover acting or some kind of something that's, because, you know, like everything has to do, it has technology has to be caught up with. I'm just saying that, you know, the laws have to catch up with technology, and I think awards have to catch up with our technology. But now, because there's a certain class of actors, and I would even say things like, well, maybe not so much Tom Hanks as Woody, but things like that where, you know, people should be recognized for that too. I mean, on one hand, you could say they get recognized for enough.
Yeah.
They make enough money and awards and whatever. Yeah, you can say that. But on the other hand, like, either we're going to make that award or we're just going to make the Andy Serkis Award in 20 years.
After the Planet of the Apes gets remade.
Planet of the Apes, and who knows when we'll see Gollum again. And he was King Kong. That was an ape.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say it's pretty solid, you know.
It is. It was a very well put together movie. The plot was good. Story was good. It was enough action to make you entertained. The special effects were good. The look of the movie, the flow of the movie. It wasn't. Yeah, it was. The pacing was. It was a solid movie. It really was. It was entertaining. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Well, maybe you haven't. It's worth seeing it. It won't be a waste of time.
So make sure you go on to www.siteheist.com. That's site as in vision, S-I-G-H-T, heist, H-E-I-S-T.com. There's all kinds of reviews on there and some other stuff and junk for you to look at. It's always updated. Go look at the top movies of the year pages and stuff like that. And then you can go to youtube.com/filmdebris, where we have a lot of our videos of our top favorite three to see movies, different topics. Pick your poison.
It's a plethora of media you can check out there.
I'm Robert Temple. You can find me at Masterside on Twitter. That's MASTURCIDE. You can find Deanthony Graves
at Your Boy Concepts, YABOIKONCEPTS on Twitter.
And he also has his hashtag going on. He's watching 1,000 movies.
Concepts watch 1,000 movies. I will see 1,000 movies in theater. Followed by the hashtag Concepts watch selfie. With every movie, I'm going to take a selfie with the movie poster.
And what number movie is this?
This makes 15.
15 out of 1,000?
15 out of 1,000. We're going strong, people. We're going strong.
So thank you very much for listening. Leave a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you don't want to hear. Tell us what your favorite movie is and favorite flavor of soda pop.
And we might care. We might care enough to do something about it.
But honestly, thank you very much for spending any time with us. Tell us what you liked about the movie, and maybe bring up something that you didn't like about it. We'll try to comment back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Robert Temple for Deanthony Graves. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.